Good morning, everyone. We'll wait for 1 or 2 more minutes so everyone can join. Okay, so in last session, what we have covered, we'll first revise those concepts and then we'll move further. We have studied one concept called descriptive attribute. What is descriptive attribute? It describes something related to a relationship. It gives some additional information about the relationship. If we have any if we have any description regarding entity, then we can call it as attributes, which defines the characteristics of an entity. But a relation, if it wants to give some additional information, then for that we have one attribute called descriptive attribute. Like this, employee and organization are two entities. Works for is a relationship. Now, employee can have this much attributes. The characteristics of each employee can be like this: employee ID, name, department, salary, all of this. Among all four, among all four, employee ID is a primary key. If we have 1,000 employee records, from all of that, if we are having employee ID, it distinguishes all of them differently. So employee ID is primary key. Primary key means from that one attribute or from that one characteristic, you are able to distinguish all the records of the table. And for organization, we have these two attributes: organization ID and the name of the organization. But we do not have any of the attributes for relationship like this works for. If I want to give an attribute over here, it is called descriptive attribute, which is duration. Okay, this concepts we have already covered in the last session. So employee works for organization, works for. So how much duration? Duration will be mentioned over here, which gives us additional information regarding this relationship. So this attribute, which is connected with relationship instead of entities, is called descriptive attribute. Okay. And then we have studied in the last session mapping cardinalities. Mapping cardinalities means if we have two different entities, then how one entity will be mapped with other. How many entities will be mapped with how many entities at the different side. So we have four mapping cardinalities: one to one, one to many to one, and many to many. One to one, we have taken the example of a citizen has PAN card. So citizen is one class. We can say it is of set A. So if we have four different citizens, A1, A2, A3, and A4. Like A1 means Pal, A2 means Astha, next Dhwani, and Forum. So we have four different citizens, and each of them is having their PAN card number. So I can say it is one to one, because if I'm talking about Dhwani, so Dhwani has one PAN card number which is called B3. And if I found PAN card number and I'm mapping it with any of them, then only one person has the same PAN card number. So one citizen can have one PAN card number. Or we can say one more example. All of you having Aadhaar card or driving license. So if I am having only Aadhaar card number, 12 digits Aadhaar card number, and I am searching for any of this, so it can be of any one person only. So one person can have only one Aadhaar card, or Aadhaar card number can be of any one person. So both the side it can be 1 to 1. And for defining this 1 to 1, we have symbol like this, arrow symbol. So here also 1, and here at PAN card side also 1. You can write it in any of the format. This we have covered in the last session, 1 to 1. Make sure whenever you are drawing this figure, in this set A and set B, this all entities A1, A2, A3, A4 and B1, B2, B3, B4. And the symbol for entity representation is rectangle. So make sure here you are drawing a rectangle, and after that inside this rectangle you are name the entity A1, A2, A3 and A4. Do not write directly because these are entities. Make sure regarding this. The next we covered is one to many. So we have taken the example of citizen has mobile number. One citizen can have multiple mobile numbers. If you have a phone which can carry dual SIM, so you have two mobile numbers, it can be possible. But if I am having a mobile number, so one mobile number can be associated with only one owner. So here A1, A2, A3 are the citizens or person, and these are B1, B2, B3, B4 and B5 are mobile numbers. So it may possible for person 1 can have two different mobile numbers, but if I found one mobile number and I am checking for the owner of this mobile number, so it can be only one person. So this is called one to many. And if I am seeing the same scenario from this side, from mobile number to citizen, so many of the mobile number can have the same owner. So it can be many to one. What is the notation for writing this mapping cardinality? Wherever we have one relationship, you can either write 1 on the connecting line, or you can write this arrow finger. You can draw this arrow finger. Or if you have to write many relationships, so you can have n number of connections. So you can write n on the connecting line. Or if you have many connections, you can directly connect these two entities and relations. Next one is many to one. As we have discussed, we have many mobile numbers, and many mobile numbers are connected with the single owner, single person as an owner. So it can be many to one. And many to many. For example, teacher teaches student. So this is one teacher. Suppose A1 is me. So I am teaching more than one students of the department. Suppose this is PC1 class, one student. This is from PC2 class, one student, like this. So there are multiple students in the department, and I am teaching more class students or more students. It may possible, if you are talking regarding this, you are a student of PC1, it may possible more than one faculty can teach you the subject. Like I am taking your DBMS, design engineering, some other faculty like Vidhi madam is taking your ETC, and many more. So it may possible one teacher can teach many students, as well as one student can learn from many teachers. So here both the part, both at both the entity side, we have many to many relationship. And many to many relationships can be represented like this. Either you are writing n to n, or the second symbol for representing many is just connecting the lines. Okay. We have covered till this in the last session. Till this, do anyone have any doubt? Then write in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll move forward. I'm waiting for one or two replies. So if you have any query, then write in the chat box. Any queries? Write your reply. Okay, good. Okay. In last session, I have give you one task, draw ER diagram for college database. I hope everyone has done the same. Okay. One more thing we'll study, and after that we will have one more exercise, and this exercise we are doing together. Weak entity set. Okay. Till now we have studied entity set. Entity set means student, faculty, any of the entities like course, teacher, mobile number. So entity can have multiple attributes, and if each attribute can have different values, like for student, if I am having 5 attributes: student roll number, student name, semester, division, and department. So here student roll number is called primary key. If I am having student roll number like 20, roll number 20. So for roll number 20, there will be allocated only one student. So from this one characteristic or one attribute, I am able to distinguish that particular student among the rest of the students. But weak entity set means an entity set that does not have a primary key. That means if they have 100 records, then from that 100 records, I'm not able to distinguish one particular person. So it is called weak entity set. Weak entity set is denoted by double rectangle symbol. If we are using single rectangle symbol, so it is entity, and we can say now it is strong entity, because till now we do not have a concept of weak entity. So weak means if you have multiple attributes and any of the one attribute do not have a primary key, then it is called weak entity set, and it can be represented by double rectangle symbol. When a weak entity set is connected with strong entity set by some relation, then the relation is known as weak relationship set. That means if I am having one weak entity set, and that weak entity set is connected with relations, because we know entities can be connected with relationships. So if we have one weak entity and it is connected with relation, then that relation is also called weak relationship set. And the relation is also denoted by double diamond. Okay, so first we'll take one example and we'll get back here so you can understand the concept easily. Okay, this is the example. We have one entity called loan and the other entity called payment. So loan have different attributes: loan number and amount for the loan. Harsh, you can mute yourself. Okay. Loan can have two different attributes: loan number and amount. So loan number is unique because loan number is given with any of the bank account holder name. So it can be unique. If you have loan number, you can identify this loan is of this much amount and this is the owner of the bank account and all the details regarding the loan. But payment has this many different attributes: payment number, payment date, payment amount. We are talking like this: if we have a loan of 4 lakhs rupees, so we are giving installments. Installments, for each and every installment, we are giving payment. So those installments do not have any primary key. It can be installment number 1, installment number 2, installment number 3, but the individual existence of that installment cannot be possible. Why? Because if you are not combine it with the loan, if I am taking loan, so loan number is something, amount is 4 lakh, and loan is taken by Dhara Joshi. But if I am just mentioning this installments. So installment number 1, installment number 2, installment number 3, and so on. So only installment number cannot be a primary key. Only through that installment numbers you are not able to get all the information. So this entity is called weak entity set. Installment or payment do not exist individually. They are dependent on loan. Only installments cannot have their individual existence. If I want to know installment number 3, how much, and the broader scenario, then I must depend on loan, because this loan is having this much amount, and for that, this is the installment number 2 or installment number 3. So payment or installment, this entity cannot be existence with their attributes only. Payment number among all the installments, installment number can be unique, but it is not deal with primary key because the entity itself is not that much strong, and it is also dependent on some strong entity. So payment or installment have different attributes: payment number, payment date, and payment amount. And we are connecting this two with this relation L underscore P. It can be anything. Loan will be paid by this payment. By here we have two arrows, two connecting lines, and here one connecting line. We'll see further. But first we are focusing on weak entity set. So payment is weak entity set and it is connected with relations. So this relation is also weak relationship set. So loan is strong entity. Strong entity means what? Their attributes, among all the attributes, they have one attribute which can work as primary key, and it can differentiate all the records from their table. Payment is weak entity set because if we are using only this three attribute, it cannot be possible you will get all the information. Like this payment number can be used to identify all of this, but the existence of this payment will not be possible if we are not knowing regarding this loan. So it is called weak entity set. And this weak entity set is connected with this relation. So this relation is also called weak entity relationship. Okay. So till now, I hope your concept is clear. Now we are going back to our definitions, what we have studied. An entity set that does not have a primary key is called weak entity set. Now you can think for payment or installment. Their existence, their individual existence cannot be possible. It is denoted by double rectangle symbol. When a weak entity set is connected with strong entity set by some relationship. Here in our example, installment or payment is connected with loan with the help of that L underscore P relationship. So that relation is also called weak relationship set, and that relation is denoted by double diamond. Okay. One more technical term called discriminator. Discriminator means it can differentiate the records. So a discriminator in weak entity set distinguishes all other entities. And it can be denoted by dashed line. In primary key, we are using a solid line under the attribute name like loan number. So loan underscore number, and we are doing underline, that means a solid line. But if it is discriminator, then we are denoting it with the dashed line. To make relationships stronger, the primary key is created by combining discriminator of weak entity set and primary key of strong entity set. What does it mean? Here we have payment number as discriminator, and as you differentiate here, it is primary key, so it can have a solid line, underline. But in this payment number, we have dashed line, and it can be represented as discriminator. So if I want to identify all the records, so it can be distinguished by this discriminator, but I cannot get the information like installment 3 can be of any of the loan. Installment 3 of 25,000, so it can be of any of the loan by any of the person. So the existence of only installment cannot be possible. For that I require loan. So in this example, the relationship can be made stronger by creating primary key. Primary key अब हम किसको बनाएंगे? We need to combine all of them. Discriminator of this weak entity set and primary key of this strong entity set. So now we have payment number, discriminator, and loan number, primary key. Will combine this both together and it is called our composite. Why it is composite? Because we are combining both of them attributes. So it can be generate composite primary key and it can be represented like loan number, comma, payment number. So if I am having both the information, loan number and payment number, then it can be worked as primary key for this payment weak entity set. Okay. Till now, do anyone have any doubt? They can ask in the chat box. Do anyone have any doubt? They can write in the chat box. Waiting for your replies. Akshay, Astha, Hina. Okay, good. Okay. So can anyone tell me another example of weak entity set? This is the one example through that you can understand what weak entity and strong entity and what is the discriminator concept. We can say that in our college, all of the computer department student in PC1 class are FOPG and IT department students are FOE. So suppose I am telling you are a student, you have all the details. Here I have FOE. So FOE, any of the college name, Faculty of Engineering. Faculty of Engineering can have different attributes like department name, division, semester, but only FOE cannot be worked as strong entity because we have different attributes. If I am telling FOE1, FOE2, there are two classes, FOE1 and FOE2. So you are not able to understand for which department, for which semester. So individually, FOE do not have that much strong entity. So what you are talking is if this is weak entity set, then you are combining it with the department. So computer department and computer department have different primary key. Like computer department have primary key as semester underscore division. So third sem and EC1. Now you can identify this EC1 means FOE1. So if you are combining all of them together, only then you can have a primary key which can have some meaningful information and you are able to distinguish all the records. So weak entity set means any entity their individual existence is not possible. So it is called weak entity set. And if it is weak entity, then there is no any primary key. Instead of primary key, they can have discriminator. And discriminator's symbol is dashed line. Okay, we are moving forward. We have a two concept called generalization and specialization. Okay, first we'll take one example. First, we can talk regarding superclass versus subclass. Okay, what is superclass? If I'm telling superclass means the class which can be further divided, like department. Suppose this is superclass. So department can have different subclass like computer, mechanical, IT, EC, and so on. So superclass is department and subclass can be computer, mechanical, IT, EC, electrical, any of the branch. So department can have some attributes like department, department like their name, number of student capacity, duration of the course, whatever. So if you are having superclass and superclass is divided into subclass, then subclass can be inherited, means they have some of the characteristics of their superclass, like from department. If department is having club, then each of these departments is having clubs. We are talking one more thing. Suppose any one of you, I'm talking about me. So parents, there are, suppose we are twins or brother and sister. So my parents is my superclass and me and my brother are subclass. Some of the characteristics we can inherit from our parents, like whatever blood group or whatever. Some of the characteristics can be inherited from the superclass from the parents, but it may possible some of the characteristic of our own can be possible. So some of the characteristics are my own, whatever. It can be my job name, my job position, anything. So superclass is one class which can be divided further into the subclass, and subclass can inherit the characteristics from the superclass, and subclass can also have their own characteristics. Like you can take example of your own also if you are a subclass of your parents. So we can also take one example like in a bank, we have an account. So account can be further divided into saving account or current account. So account is a superclass. Account can have all the characteristic. Some of the same characteristic this saving account and current account also have. So the subclass can inherit some of the attributes or characteristic from its parent from superclass, and some of the characteristic can be their own, like saving account have some different interest rate, current account have some different interest rate. So some of the characteristics are of this subclass also. So this is the concept of superclass and subclass. A superclass is an entity from which another entities can be derived. So account is an entity among which these two, saving and current, these two entities can be derived. And subclass. A subclass is an entity that is derived from superclass. So the saving and current are two different entities which can be derived from account. So it can inherit the attributes of account. Okay, now we are moving forward to our concept generalization and specialization. One of you have everyone has muted their mic, I guess. I'm getting some in between noise. Okay, so generalization, the process of creating a main group from different entities is called generalization. If we are having different entities, like if employee is there, then employee can be of this department, it can be full-time, part-time employee, anything. So the process of creating a main group, if we are talking about two different entities, full-time employee and part-time employee, and they are the subclass and the superclass is employee. So employee can be full-time, employee can be part-time. So the process of creating the main group, that means from part-time and full-time, if we are looking, and the common one is employee. So it can be called as generalization, like this. Here we have employee, can be full-time and part-time. So if we are looking from here, full-time employee and part-time employee, if we are going from bottom to top, we have generalized the term. They are employees, full-time is also employee, part-time is also employee. So we are making generalized term, they are employee. If we are talking regarding this example, so saving account and current account are two different entities. But if we are going from bottom to top side, so both of them are account. So it is the general term, it is called generalization. So the process of creating a main group from different entity. Here different entities are saving account and current account, and we are creating a main group called account. So it is called generalization. It extracts the common feature of multiple entities to form a new entity. So both saving and current, both of these have different attributes like saving account number, saving account holder name, their mobile number, address, interest rate. Same for current account number, current account holder name, their DOB or whatever, all the information and their interest rate. So it extracts the common features of multiple entities to form a new entity. So here common entities, common attributes of these two are account number, name of account holder, then mobile number. Suppose these three are common attributes for saving account as well as current account. So this we are merging together, and we can say parent class account can have these three features which can be common if the account is saving, if account is current, whatever is your account type, these three features or these three attributes are common. So it extracts the common features of multiple entities to form a new entity. It is a bottom-up design process. If you are looking from this, we have first saving and current account, and now we are calling it as account. So it is the generalized term. So it is the bottom-up approach. If you are looking from bottom side to top side, you will understand it is generalized term, it is generalization. Combine a number of entity set that share the same features into a higher level entity set. So now account is called higher level entity set. It is called superclass, and this saving and current account are the subclasses. The process of combining two or more low level entity set to generate high level entity set. So we are combining these two, saving and current. Whatever the common features, we are extracting from this two, and we are moving it forward to the superclass, which is called account. So now there is no need individually that we have saving as one entity. Saving can have account number. All of these attributes can be for both of these. It is for saving, also it is for current. But there can be some different value like interest rate. It can be different for saving, it can be different for current, and uses a triangle component labeled as is A. So we are taking one example. Suppose we have entity called person. So person has different attributes like person salary, person name, person street, person city, credit rating, all of this. So we can say person can be anyone. Person can be employee. Person is customer. So if person is employee, then also these three attributes are common. Employee also can have name, employee also can have street and city. And if we are talking about customer, then also customer is having name, street and city. But so this is person is called superclass. Employee and customer are called their subclasses. Subclasses can inherit these common attributes from its parent, that means superclass. So employee now can have name, street and city. These three attributes. Along with this, employee can have one more attribute called salary. And customer also can have these three attributes which can be inherited from the parent, but one more credit rating attribute for the customer. So look at this, you will get the idea. Person can have three attributes: name, street and city. Person can be employee or person can be customer. So person is a employee, person is a customer. So here is used for generalization as well as used for specialization. So is a can be used in the triangle mode. So what does it mean? Here, if we are looking from bottom to top, like employee is a person, customer is a person. So we are thinking it is a generalized term person. Okay, one of the student wrote in the WhatsApp group, I am not able to send a message in the chat box. Okay, you can ask in the WhatsApp too, do not issue. And employee can be further divided, like it can be officer, it can be tailor, it can be secretary. So every employee has one common attribute called salary. But officer, so they have one own characteristic like office number. If it is a tailor, then their station number and works hour duration. And if it is secretary, then hours worked. So these are all their own characteristic. And generalization means if we are looking from this bottom to top. So there are three different entities: officer, tailor and secretary. We are going towards the upside. So all of them is a employee, and employee and customer is nothing but person. So we are going bottom to top. So it will give us general view. General view means all the particular or individual entity can be clubbed together and it can be a simpler entity. Okay, are you getting? Everyone, I'm asking to you, are you getting this concept? Okay, good. Exactly the opposite. Here we are going from bottom to top. But if we are looking from top to down, then it can be specialization. So general term is person. Specifically which person? It can be employee or it can be customer. Employee is the general term, but if we are going on depth, then employer can be officer, tailor or secretary. So it is called specialization. So specialization means the process of creating subgroups within an entity is called specialization. It splits an entity to form new multiple entities. Like here we have account as a superclass. Now we are splitting the account. So it can be saving account, it can be current account. The same thing, we are taking one more example like loan. So loan can be home loan, vehicle loan, personal loan, and any of them. So here we have one superclass called loan, and loan can have different home, vehicle, personal. So it splits an entity to form the new multiple entities that inherit some features of the splitting entity. So if we are talking about loan, if you want to take any of the loan, some of the common documents you need to submit, some of the common rules you need to satisfy. So the common ones are to be kept with that superclass, and the individual special characteristics are to be kept with that subclasses. Specialization will be a top-down approach. We are going from top to bottom. Designate subgrouping within an entity set that are distinctive from other entities in the set. The process of taking a subset of higher level entity set to form a lower level. So now we have a higher level entity called loan, called account, and we are going in depth. So if account, then specially how many accounts, how much account types. So it can be saving account, current account, like this. And if we are talking about loan, so specifically which kind of loan, it can be home loan or anything. It also uses a triangle component labeled as is a. So one example, here we have employee. Employee can have these three attributes. Employee can have salary, name, and city. Customer can have name, city, and credit rating. So employee and customer both can be called as person, and the common attributes name and city. Now it can be go through this superclass. So person can have name and city. So this is called specialization. If you are seeing from top to bottom, person can have this two attribute. Person is an employee or person is a customer. Employee inherits these two attributes from its parent. So employee can have these two by default, these two attribute values. Other than that, it can have their own characteristic called salary. Same way, customer can have this two attribute value by default because customer is also a person, and these are the characteristics of person. And customer can have also one more thing which is called credit rating. If you are seeing this diagram from top to bottom, it is specialization. So a person can have name, street, and city. Person is a general term, but if we are focusing in depth the specialization, so person is an employee or a person is a customer. If we are going here, now employee is one word. Employee, all the employees can have salary. This is the common attribute, but employee can be further divided, or employee can be officer, can be tailor, or can be secretary. So officer have now two attributes. The one is salary and the one is office number. But if you are seeing in the larger terms, officer is an employee as well as employee is a person. So ultimately officer is also a person. Tailor is also a person and secretary is also a person. So if officer is an entity, so how many attributes officer can have? Officer can have office number. Now it is connected or inherit the attributes from its parent. So officer can have salary, and if we are going here, officer is a person. So officer have name, street, and city. So this is called generalization and specialization. Okay. In this diagram, you can easily identify generalize means if we have each and every specific entity and we are going in general terms. It is called generalization. It is from bottom to top. Like officer, tailor, secretary, these are specific work. But all of them can be called as employee. So now it is generalization. And employee and customer both can be known as person. So it is more generalized. So the process in which we are going from bottom to top, it is called generalization. And the process in which we are going from top to bottom, specialization. Like person, more specifically, it can be employee or it can be customer. Employee, more specifically, it can be officer, tailor, or secretary. Okay. I hope now everyone got the concept. Okay, till now, if you have any question, you can ask. Do anyone have any query? They can ask in the chat box. Okay, good. Now we are moving towards the next concept called aggregation. Aggregation word means to merge or to combine something. So the limitation of ER model is that it cannot express relationships among relationships. Okay. Till now, whatever example we have preferred are the example where two entities can be connected with one relationship, like teacher teaches student. So teacher and student here, these two are entities, and teaches is a relationship among these two. So till now we have studied this kind of relationship. These two are entities and it can be connected with relationship. But can you able to say is this right or wrong? Relationship is connected with relationship. No, it is not correct. So the limitation of ER model is that it cannot express relationship between relationship. So it cannot be possible in ER diagram. Okay. Suppose this is the example. Here we are just focusing on this upper part. Do not focus here. This we will see later, the lower one. Okay. So employee works for department, employee works for company. If you are not seeing before the works part, then we have one relationship connected with three entities, and this kind of relationship is called ternary relationship if it have three connections with the different entities. So it simply means employee can work for department, like I'm taking example of mine. So I can work for department, computer department, and I'm also working for Marwari College. Now, any of us, like me, department, or Marwari College, can be able to borrow a loan, can take a loan. So here the connection can be assumed like this. There can be one connection between this employee to borrow. So employee can borrow loan, company can borrow loan, or department can borrow loan. This can be possible if you are thinking, keeping it aside, and if you are thinking individually, it can be possible. Like I am also able to borrow a loan, Marwari College can borrow a loan, or a department can borrow a loan. But here, two relationships is not possible as per the rules of ER diagram. So this creates a problem. Two relationship, if we have one entity is in between, then it is okay because two entities can be connected with relationship. But two relationships is not exist, so cannot connect two relationships. So what we are thinking, we are merging or aggregating this together and taking it into the top level, and we can name it as customer. Whoever is taking a loan called customer, customer can be anything. It can be employee, it can be company, or it can be department. So all of this, we are created a single entity named customer. Now, the scenario is like this. Customer, borrow, a loan. Now it is perfect as per the rule of ER diagram. Two entities can have a relation. So this is called aggregation. Aggregation means to combine together, to merge together. So we are merging this together, we are aggregating this concept and will name it as customer. So customer is now worked as a single entity and it can borrow a loan. So this is the concept of aggregation. Why aggregation concept comes into the picture? Because two relationships cannot be connected. If relationship wants to connect, we need one entity in between them. Like if it works like this, company works for bank, bank borrow loan, then it will be fine. But here we have two relationships which are connecting with each other. It is not allowed in ER model. So this is aggregate or aggregation concept. The process of merging various entities into one single entity is called aggregation. Here we are merging these three: employee, company and department, and all of them as work as customer, and customer can borrow a loan. So this is a concept of aggregation. Okay, till now we have studied many of the ER diagram symbols, notations. So we are just referring it quickly. This is the entity. Entity will be represented into rectangle form and the name of the entity will be inside this. This is the symbol of attribute. It can be ellipse or oval shape. Relationship. It can be represented into diamond shape. Primary key attribute. If attribute is there, then this ellipse or oval shape. Primary key, that means we need to keep a line, underline. Weak entity means if entity is like using this rectangle, then weak entity means double rectangle. Derived attribute. Derived attribute means it can be calculated from some other attribute like age. So it can be calculated from date of birth and it can be used to represent in this format, dashed ellipse. Multi-valued. One person can have more than one phone number or more than one mail ID. So it is multi-value. Multi-value means 2 times ellipse or oval symbol. This is discriminating attribute or discriminator. So if it is attribute, so it is used this symbol. Discriminator, for that we have dashed line. Weak entity relationship. For relationship, we have a symbol of diamond. For weak, we have 2 times diamond symbol. Specialization or generalization can be used this symbol is a. If we are talking from bottom to top, so multiple different entities can have one general term, so it is called generalization. And if we are looking from top to bottom, so one entity can be have special entity, specialization. It is called top to bottom. One to one can be represented by arrow. One to many. Whenever we have one, we have arrow. For many, we do not have any particular symbol. Many to one, here we have many, so no any other arrow line. We have just connecting lines, and here we have one, so one arrow. And many to many. Okay, till now we have completed this many symbols. Okay. All of you are supposed to create a ER diagram for hospital management. In this diagram, you need to use all of this, whatever you have studied. Multi-valued attribute, discriminator, relationship like mapping cardinality, one to one, one to many, many to one, all of this. These are the tips for examination. Define minimum 4 entities with at least 4 attributes. Whenever in exam, any of the diagram can be asked. 4 attributes per entity you need to mention minimum, and minimum 4 entities should be there. We are focusing on more entities, but if you are not able to do it, then minimum 4 entities. Provide all types of attributes like multi-value, derived attribute, somewhere in any of the entity. Also show weak entity set and few mapping cardinalities like one to many, one to one, whatever. All of this. So the concept we have studied till now, using all of them, you are supposed to create hospital management. Now for chapter 2, we are remaining with only one topic. We'll cover it in the next lecture. And I'm taking your attendance. Two students, I think they have changed their class. Just a minute. I'm taking your attendance. Priya, you can write in the chat box. Okay. Present. Himangi. So quickly, today we have less time. Shyam. Kirtan. Krupal. Krupal. Kunal. Yes. Avadh. Okay. Krupal is also there. Nancy. Vaibhav. Kushal. Kushal.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Akanksha. Yes. Forum. Vani. Daksha. Tanvi. Harshit. Mahir. Parth. Urvashi. Kumarpal. Rahul. Havik. Pooja. Pooja, are you there? Okay. Pearl. Prithvi. Prithvi. Ruti. Ruti Ben. Akshay.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, Akshay, you can write in the chat box. Mute your mic. Zaki Ahmed.
Ma'am, I'm
Okay,
taking
good.
note for you.
Sachin. Chinmay. Chinmay. Dhairya. Embarrassing. Dhairya. Milan. Hitesh. Hina. Chirag. Nancy. Kamalraj. Kamalraj. Astha. Shelvi. Okay, Astha is also there. Hiren. Naresh. Mohammad Munaf. Yatish. Mohib Hussain. Krish. Nishi. Kushal. Okay, Yatish, Mohib Hussain, Kushal, Munaf, Mohib Hussain. Krish, are you there? No. Kushal is there. Umang. Umang. Parth. Karthik. Yes. Deep. Purvisha. Mihir. Nidali. Sharad. Sharad. Rahul. Shreya. Krishna. Milan. Sunil. Harsh. Milan is there? Yes. Milan, Sunil, Harsh, Yash. Yash, Diksha. Zenith. Varun. Shruti. Okay. Everyone can leave the meeting. Krish, wait a minute. Okay, Krish is present. Anyone else? Ma'am, Vruti is present.
Yes, ma'am.
Forum, enrollment number of Vruti. Okay. Rest of students can leave the meeting and join the next session. IT 36, okay. IT 36, Ruti Ben, okay. Okay, thank you. All of you can leave the session and join the next one. Have a good day.